Hey guys, welcome to another Pokemon X and Y guide. Now in this one I'm going to show you how to change the form of all the legendary Pokemons that have alternate forms. So first off we're going to begin with Deoxys. Now Deoxys has the ability to change into any of four forms. He has his normal form, attack, defense, and speed forms. So first I'm going to show you my Deoxys right here, which is in its normal form. So it's in its normal form. So I'm going to show you how to change into any of the other three. Well, into the other three and back into normal. So in order to do that, you need to first go to Umbred Town. I'm already here, so head down to the Fossil Research Lab. Now once you're in here, go to the far left and you're going to see a rack with 5 meteorites. Now all you have to do is interact with any of the meteorites and you can change Deoxys into one of its other forms. So you might think, 5 meteors, only 4 forms. You might think that an extra meteor means a new form, but there's just 5 meteors and none of them have like a specific transformation. Like they won't change. It's not like, oh, this one for attack, this one for defense. No. All of them will just rotate Deoxys' forms from normal to attack to defense to speed and back around into normal. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you. All you need to do is interact with it with Deoxys in your party. It'll tell you if you want to bring it closer. You say yes, and it'll say Deoxys has changed to have superior stats for attacking, for defending, balanced stats, or for speed. And then all you have to do is check. Mine was in normal form, so now it's in attack form. And then I'll just show you, it rotates around. So same meteor once again, and now it'll be into defense. I'm gonna show you once again. And there you go, defense form. So you can change Deoxys into any of his forms. You just need to rotate until you get the one you want. And once again, it doesn't matter which meteor you use, they will all rotate them around. Okay, so next up is Giratina. Now Giratina has 2 forms, its origin and its altered forms. Now its origin form is the one that it usually has when it's in the distortion world in Pokemon Platinum. But outside of the distortion world, it's found in the altered form. But there is a way to change it back into its origin form, which I'll show you in a second. First, let me show you standard Giratina in its altered form. So that's altered form Giratina. This is a shiny event Giratina. So now, in order to change it back into its origin form, all you need to do is first you need to get the Gracious Orb. Now the Gracious Orb is Giratina's signature item. Just like Dialga and Palkia, the other members of the Creation Trio have their own orbs, the Adamant and the Lustrous Orb. So you can find all 3 of them in the Terminus Cave. In the last far room at the end of the cave, you can find all 3 of them there in the same room where you can capture I think you pronounce it Zygarde. I think so. In the same room as Zygarde, you can find all 3 of the orbs. So once you found the Gracious Orb, all you need to do is give it to Giratina, and it'll change form into its origin form. So just give it, it'll tell you, you'll see a little animation, and then it'll tell you Giratina changed form. Simple as that. So now I'm going to show you origin form Giratina, and that's origin form Giratina. Now the difference between the forms is that the origin form has much higher attack, and because it needs to be holding the Gracious Orb to be in that form, which boosts Dragon and Ghost attacks, it's a much better attacker than the other form. While the other form has higher defenses, and because it's not necessarily having to hold the orb, you can give it leftovers and it'll be a good tank. So next up we have Shaymin now. Shaymin has two forms, it's land and sky form. So I'm going to show you how to change it from its land into its sky form. So in order to do that, you need the Giratina, which in order for you to get it, you need to go to Snowbell City, go into the Pokemon Center, and then talk to this girl over here while having a Shaymin in your party. She will give you the Giratina. So there you go. Now once you have the Giratina, all you need to do is use it on Shaymin, and it will change form. So I'm gonna show you my Shaymin first. It's in its land form, and yes, it's a shiny Shaymin, which I managed to get in a trade. So now all you need to do is go to your items. The Giratina, it's a key item, so there it is. So now use on Shaymin, and it'll change into its sky form. And there you go. Now the first time I attempted this, it did not work. For some reason, Shaymin did not change form. There you go, it's sky form. So I didn't know what the problem was, but then I figured it out, and it was that Shaymin will only change form if it's daytime. If it's during the night, this will not work. The Giratina, it'll say, when you try to use the Giratina on Shaymin, it'll tell you that it had no effect. So right now it's nighttime where I'm at, so I wasn't going to be able to change it. But all you have to do to get around that is go to your settings on your 3DS and change the time of day. You know, just change the time to the daytime, whatever time, and then it'll work. So now Shaymin will remain in its sky form until one of two things happen. Like I said, it won't transform during the night, so if it's already transformed by the time it's nighttime, then it'll revert back into its normal form. So that's one way. Another way is when it's battling, if someone freezes it, you know, with an ice beam, a blizzard, or any attack that can freeze a Pokemon. If it's frozen during battle, then it will revert back into its land form again. So just keep that in mind. It's a permanent change, sorta, until it's nighttime, or it's frozen in battle. So, but once again, if you want to switch it back, all you need to do is change the time. Now we have the forces of nature, Tornadus, Thunderous, and Landorus, which have two forms, their default incarnate form and their alternate Therian forms. Now in order to change them in between them, you need the reveal glass, which in order to get it, go to Shallower City and enter the reflection cave. Now from there, just go left and you'll see this scientist over here. So all you need to do is talk to her while you have either of the three in your party, and she will give you the reveal glass. And there you go, you get the reveal glass. So now go outside. And now all you need to do is go to your bag, go to your key items, and use the reveal glass. My Landorus is already in its Therian form, so, and it's now in its incarnate form. So that's all you do. It works. I'm pretty sure it works back and forth. And yes, you can change them back in between forms. The difference between the forms is stats. There are stat changes for which are different between the three of them, and then their abilities change as well. So there you go. Okay, so next we have Kyurem, Reshiram, and Zekrom, which if you fuse either Zekrom or Reshiram with Kyurem, you get a whole different Pokemon. White Kyurem or Black Kyurem, depending on which one of the dragons you fuse. So in order to fuse them, you need the DNA splicer. So in order to get it, go to Kilut City and head over to this house over here, and this one right here. So just go in, and to the right you'll see this girl right here, and just talk to her while having Zekrom or Reshiram in your party. And I think you also need to have Kyurem. I have Zekrom and Kyurem right now, and she will give you the DNA splicer. And there you go. Or maybe you just need a Kyurem, but either way, just have Kyurem and either Reshiram or Zekrom just to be safe. So now all you need to do, it's in your key items, so just get the DNA splicer, use it on Kyurem while having either of the other two there, and it will fuse with, and then you just select the other one and they fuse, and you'll have either white or black Kyurem. And there you go, black Kyurem. And finally we have Meloetta and Keldeo, which both have two forms. Now in order to transform them, you need to go to Snowbill City and go to this house to the left of the Obama Snow. So Meloetta can change into her pirouette form and Keldeo into his resolute form. Now what you need to do is talk to this guy who will tell you how for generations his family has taught certain moves to mythical Pokemon. So those Pokemon are Meloetta and Keldeo, and those moves are their signature moves. So he'll offer to teach them, so just choose either of them. In the case of Keldeo, he'll teach him Secret Sword, and in the case of Meloetta, he'll teach it Relic Song. So just go ahead and teach it Secret Sword. I'll swap out Sacred Sword here. And then as soon as Keldeo learns Secret Sword, it will transform into its Resolute form. And there it is. Now his form is unique in that unlike the other Pokemon that you've seen, which can change back and forth easily, Keldeo is different in that in order for you to turn him back into his standard form, you must make him forget Secret Sword, which all you need to do is go to Dendemil Town and go to the Move Deleter, and he can delete it for you if you really want to swap its form. Now talk to him again for Meloetta. And he'll teach Meloetta Relic Song. So Meloetta, just teach whatever. Now Meloetta is different to Keldeo in that it won't automatically turn into its pirouette form as soon as it learns Relic Song. Instead, in order for you to turn it into its pirouette form, you have to use Relic Song while battling with Meloetta. So I'm going to go over to the grass that's over here and show you quickly a battle with Meloetta. As soon as you use a Relic Song in battle, it will automatically transform into its pirouette form. and it will change back by the end of battle, so it's not a permanent transformation. So now I use Relic Song. And then it turns into its pirouette form. Now in this form, Meloetta goes from a normal psychic to a normal fighting type, and her attack and physical, both their attack and special attack are swapped. You know, as usually psychics are more special attackers, while fighting type are more physical attackers. And that's that. So now the battle ends, and I'll just show you once again. As you can see, Meloetta is back into its standard form, so it will only be for the duration of the battle, but it makes Meloetta a versatile Pokemon in that if you need to defeat a physical wall, you can remain in its normal form, and if you need to get around a special wall, because you know sometimes special walls, physical walls, they usually have the other defense pretty low, so you can switch forms, and it can also help you to if you're fighting a dark type and such. So it's good for versatility. So those are all the ways to change the legendaries form. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you found it helpful, and if you did, remember to drop a like and subscribe for more Pokemon X and Y videos.